everyone, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to the channel.
I pick through my pockets for gifts of the heart, velour and diamonds for the world.
Subscribe if you're new. Today I want to talk about how I choose a protein bar that's actually good for me. And I have about 5 tips and tricks that I want to share with you guys. I have to mention that first of all, I am not a registered dietitian. I am currently getting trained to be a health coach. These things are just my standards and my opinions when it comes to a protein bar. But everybody is different. Everybody has different needs. Just bear that in mind. Second thing I want to say is the focus of today's video will be on protein bars only. So I won't talk about granola bars or other energy bars. I will only talk about bars that are labeled as protein bars. So today I have a bunch of protein bars from different brands and I will use them as examples while I go through each tip and trick. Since it's a protein bar, the first thing that I check is always how much protein is in the bar. And in my opinion, a protein bar should have at least 10 grams of protein. But you know, only looking at the amount of protein can be a little deceiving. So I try to compare the amount of protein to the amount of carbohydrates in the bar. So that way I know what percentage of the bar is actually protein, and that's what I want. Ideally, I'm looking for a bar that has more protein than carbohydrates. For example, this bar from Pure Protein, it has 20 grams of protein compares to 18 grams of carbohydrate. This is a really good ratio because we're getting more protein than carbohydrates in this bar. If I can't find something like this, the closer it is to a 1-to-1, the better. For example, this bar from Quest has 21 grams of protein and 21 grams of carbohydrate. What I try to avoid are bars that have more than twice the amount of carbohydrates compared to protein, because these are protein bars. They should be really protein dense and not full of carbohydrates. For example, this bar from Special K, when we look at the nutrition label, it has 9 grams of protein, which in my opinion is too little protein for a protein bar, and 17 grams of carbohydrate. Almost twice the amount of protein. I'll show you another example. Protein snack bar from Vega, 10 grams of protein and 22 grams of carbohydrate. You see, the carbohydrate is more than twice the amount of protein, and this is an example of the kind of bars that I would try to avoid. Moving on, I want to talk about sugar. You know, a lot of protein bars are labeled as protein bars, even though in my opinion, when you compare the amount of sugar in that bar and the amount of protein in that bar, it's honestly more of a candy bar than a protein bar. For me, I have to look at the back and look at the nutrition label to see how much sugar is actually in the bar. So just be careful with that, because the protein bars are usually not that big, and if it's packed with sugar, it's not that good for you. In my opinion, a protein bar shouldn't have more than 5 to 6 grams of sugar. Let's look at this Cliff Builders protein bar. This is a really popular bar. In front of the package, it says 20 grams of protein. If you turn it around and you look at the nutrition label, this bar actually has 16 grams of sugar. Do you see that the sugar level is almost the same as protein level? So this is the kind of bar that I will be really careful with and I would try to avoid. Another example is this bar from Vega. It has 20 grams of protein and 16 grams of sugar. The daily sugar consumption limit for women is 25 grams. 16 grams in this little bar, you're getting more than half of your daily sugar limit from just one little protein bar. I will show you some good examples that I have here. This bar from Simply Protein has 1 gram of sugar. That's really good, and that's what you're looking for. Another good example is this protein bar from Quest. It has also 1 gram of sugar, 21 grams of protein. That is a great example. Also, I want to show you guys this bar from Pure Protein. It has 3 grams of sugar. You'll also notice that it has 5 grams of sugar alcohols. So sugar alcohols are these artificial sweeteners that are also used in diet sodas. It's pretty safe to consume artificial sweeteners. There's no proof that says that it's bad for you. However, it's still sweet, so it can trick your brain into craving more sugary stuff. So just be careful with that. Don't overdo artificial sweeteners, even if it doesn't have any calories in them. Also, So some people are just really sensitive to artificial sweeteners, and they can cause digestive symptoms in some people. I personally don't really like the taste of artificial sweeteners, but you know, it's up to you. Alright, next, when it comes to fat, there are two things that you should look out for. First of all, you need to make sure there's no trans fat in the bar. Trans fat are currently the only type of fat that are scientifically proven to cause obesity and heart disease and other health problems. Luckily, trans fat has been banned from most products out there in the market these days. Most of these bars here do not have trans fat in them. And if you see a bar that has 0.1 grams of trans fat, it's okay. It can honestly be rounded to 0. The second thing about fat is the type of fat that's in the bar. I prefer coconut oil or other types of healthier fat, and I try to avoid vegetable oil as much as I can because vegetable oils can cause inflammation. One thing that I really try to avoid is palm oil. It's a vegetable oil. It's just really bad for the environment as well. But unfortunately, most of the protein bars from these major companies like Kellogg, Nature Valley, most of these bars do have palm oil in it. To me, it's really sad, and it's really hard to avoid palm oil in these products, but you know, if I can find a better alternative, I would definitely go for the other bar. And I'll show you a couple good examples of bars with healthier types of fat. For this, you have to look at the ingredient list, not the nutrition label. I don't see any vegetable oil in this bar. I see coconut oil, which is good. Another good example is the Quest bar. In the ingredient list, I also do not see any vegetable oils, and it uses cocoa butter, coconut oil, which are all healthier fat sources. So it's a good thing to have a good amount of fat in these bars, but it's important to know what kind of fat you're getting. Another example is Simply Protein. It has cashew butter. It's a really good fat source. So check the ingredient list and see what kind of fat you're getting in these bars. Next, when it comes to fiber, I'm looking for a protein bar that has a good amount of fiber, and in my opinion, more than 6 to 8 grams of fiber is a good amount. Fibers can help you regulate your blood sugar, so after you eat something, your blood sugar won't increase too drastically too fast, and it's good for you to have a stable blood sugar level. So I have two bars over here, the Quest bar and the Pure Protein bar. The Quest bar has 15 grams of fiber. The Pure Protein bar has only 2 grams of fiber. So I would definitely go for the Quest bar than the Pure Protein bar. Lastly, I just want to quickly talk about calories in the protein bars. Calories is probably the last thing that I look at because I care more about where the calories are coming from. The quality of calories is way more important than the amount of calories, in my opinion. The factors that I talked about before, the protein percentage, the type of fat that's in the bar, and the amount of fiber, these things can tell you if the calories are good quality calories. Two of my favorite protein bars are the one from Simply Protein and the Quest protein bar. Both of them have a really good percentage of protein, only 1 gram of sugar, decent amount of fiber, and good fat. The Quest bar has 200 calories and Simply Protein has 150 calories, but honestly it doesn't really matter because I already know that I am getting good quality calories from both of these bars. Alright, so that's all my 5 tips and tricks when it comes to how I choose a healthy protein bar. Remember that these tips and tricks are not specific to these brands, they are just general guidelines and standards that can be applied to all brands. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope it's helpful for you guys, and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next week. Take care, you guys.